Hey guys, this is Helena. I'm here with Catie Turner to talk about her latest release. Hey,
Hi, how are you?
good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm thriving. I'm excited to talk and
Yeah,
everything.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, first, let's tell me a little bit about yourself. Tell where are you located as well, and what's your favorite part about where you're located right now?
Okay. So I'm located in Los Angeles now. Not born here, born on the East Coast in Philadelphia, but that's brings me to the next question is what I like about being based in LA, and it's the sun. But I also kind of hate it because I'm really pale. Um, Sun doesn't like me, but I like it. So that's a little bit about me.
Yeah, that's understandable. So you said you're from the East Coast. Can you tell me a little bit about your upbringing and why you moved to LA?
My upbringing's pretty boring, but I think it's better to be boring, you know, because sometimes I'm like, I wish I had like a story like I was riding motorcycles across the country or something, or, but also pretty thankful for the boring upbringing. Um, and I wasn't ever really interested in music. Well, I loved music, but music, just like the sun, it just didn't like me until it decided it did. And
Mm,
then I moved to LA to pursue it, and we've been friends ever since, me and music. So I'm very happy to be here.
that's awesome. Tell me a little bit more about how you became friends with music.
I embarrassingly, I was a really big fan of groups, like boy bands, girl groups. And I had this like delusional fantasy. I was like, I want to be in a band and I want to go on X Factor because One Direction and Fifth Harmony went on X Factor.
Right.
And that was my goal. Like, and, but I didn't have the voice or anything to like be in a band. So that I'm like, okay, to fulfill this delusional fantasy, I have to, I guess, learn how to do those two things. um Parents never sang, so I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do this because I it's not like I have like a lot of like raw natural talent to
Hmm.
draw from. And it just kind of, I started learning guitar, and then I'm like, hey, actually this is really cool to write songs and very therapeutic, and I don't suck at this. And it was kind of a surprise for me,
Hmm.
and I've been winging it ever since.
That's cool. Well, so far you've been winging it pretty well. I see you got a few million streams on there so far.
I know it's every day I truly wake up just completely like overwhelmed in a good way because I'm just like, I feel like I have major imposter syndrome where I'm just like, I don't know how I'm doing this, but thank you for listening.
I think it's partly because of you. I already can see you just have this modest and raw energy that it just like brings in, it magnifies people for sure. So I could tell
Thank
like
you.
immediately that that is a part of it. Not as well as your talent, of course. I mean, that practice definitely like helped, and I really
Oh,
love your sound.
thank you. I mean, I didn't
Yeah.
get like a girl group with dance moves like I always wanted, but maybe that's not off the table.
It's definitely not off the table. I mean, you're just getting started, right?
I guess I hope I'm just getting started.
Yeah. So how's the pandemic affected your creative process as a musician?
It definitely made me um realize how much of my creativity was unhealthy,
Mm,
because before I would kind of had this idea that my creativity was kind of like lightning in a bottle and I needed to like have these life experiences. So here I was just getting my heart broken and I was just really hypersensitive to get songs out, and I was just searching those experiences, and it was like how thrill seeker, they need that rush of adrenaline. I'm like, I just need a heartbreak or something to happen because I need to write about this. And then during the pandemic, when you're not leaving your house and you're literally eating cookie dough, it made me turn more inward and actually have to like process things about myself, and start writing more introspective and less about like this person broke my heart. And it made me start to actually dig deeper for creativity and actually start realizing truths about myself and actually writing like maybe I'm the one who broke my own heart because I keep chasing these people.
Wow, that's quite a realization to make, especially like in a time of isolation.
Yeah, it was not fun, but we've survived.
Well, I wanted to talk about your latest release, Nothing, and just like kind of draw from that because that just really like we were just talking about just really made me think of that song in particular just because of how raw and vulnerable it is in comparison to like just modern day pop music today.
Well, thank you. Nothing was a lot of like how it's a more tongue-in-cheek way and not taking itself so seriously, but I did have to actually like search like inside myself and realize that like a lot of things are more in my control than I give them credit for. So like sometimes I'm like, ah, I wish like I like worked out. And then it's like, well, I could. And I'm just like, ew, but I don't want to. And
Yeah,
I complain a lot. So that's really where Nothing is based.
that's cool. Yeah, and then like not only I did sense that tongue in cheek, but it also was just like very personal and like I was just saying, you just have that really magnetic energy about you just because you're so real, and it's just interesting to think that you came out of that with through the pandemic, and with that voice and with that message.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, do you want to tell me a little bit about what exactly inspired the single?
It was a conversation with a friend, and they were saying that they started running at like 6 a.m. And I went, oh, I wish I could do that. Like, I wish I could run, and I wish I could learn a language. I like all these things. And they just really like just plainly said, not even like with any sort of inflection, not me, not, they just literally just said point blank, you can. And I
Mhm.
just like, first it was something so simple, but I was like, oh my God, yeah. Cause like I could run and I could learn a language. I just don't want to put in the work to do it. And I'm just realized I'm like, oh, I'm kind of the friend that like complains
Hmm.
and doesn't do the easy like I remember I got in a fight with a friend, and instead of like communicating with them, like, hey, sorry about that, that won't happen again. My solution, like hiding, literally crawling out my window to avoid them in my house. And it was
Mm.
like, make things harder for myself for no reason.
Yeah. But like it's also super relatable too, because like even though you are poking fun at yourself and those tendencies, it like really makes it so that somebody can like feel okay about feeling that way because it's not something that people really talk about as well, especially like I said in pop music today. Just like the way you do it. I'm sure people are like I've noticed people have been breaking out and like finding their own voice, but your voice is just like definitely shines differently than many of the other artists that I've been listening to lately. So
So much that
yeah.
means everything. Thank you.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about what you have planned next. How is this single going to change your voice, or possibly like, yeah, how did that single release like shift your perspective on how you write music? Did it do anything like that?
I guess it's exploring a lot of my old music was more sad, more acoustic, and this is a way for me to bring it more up tempo but still honor my lyrics. So I think it's gonna be playing more with that. This single definitely being well received was kind of validating for me because I'm like, okay, so people just don't see me as the girl who can write like sad songs. Now I can write sad songs with like and up with a 4 on the floor or something.
Yeah.
So just I guess experimenting with my lyrics and sounds and seeing how they can coexist in a way that makes a concert of mine in the future not so terribly sad because I that's also why I'm like Nothing. I want it to be more up tempo because I'm like, guys, this concert's gonna be sad. if it's any of my old, like we need something to get people moving. And yeah, short Sparks Note version, just giving me the space to explore sounds with my lyrics and seeing what little new worlds we can create together.
Yeah, and then hopefully create that girl band, huh?
I know. I mean, maybe it'll be more now. I'm thinking, because it used to be I wanted to be like a dancing girl group, realizing maybe less achievable than like, guitars and a drum. Like, but I think that's cooler. So maybe we'll actually have like a girl band instead of like a pop group where we're like, because I learned all of Fifth Harmony's choreographies too.
That's awesome.
I know, maybe maybe it can be both. I can use my dancing experience from then to combine it with instrumentation.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. You wouldn't, yeah, I've seen it done really well before, and I'd love to see that when you're like, especially in the sound, and maybe even in the acoustic sound to an extent, you can like just try something out. Who knows?
Thank you so much for not thinking I'm crazy. I'm going to call my whole label after this and be like, guys, solo, I'm making a girl band.
You could definitely do that. Mm-hmm.
Bassist, the hot bassist.
That'd be fun. So you play acoustic guitar. What else do you play?
Oh, I can only get away with acoustic. Like I can maybe piano if I'm playing I can make it sound like I know how to play piano because I can like move my fingers really fast and be like do 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 do. And if somebody untrained like walks by, they can be, wow, she sort of knows what she's doing. I don't. I tried to do drums, and I can only play "We Will Rock You" and "Best of Both Worlds" from Hannah Montana.
Nice.
And the bass, but only because I play guitar, so I really only know how to pluck the one strings. But I can fake it. Everything is a fake except the guitar, where I actually kind of know what I'm doing, but
Yeah,
loosely.
well, some of the best guitarists, like electric guitarists, didn't they start with acoustic?
I don't know, but I I'm gonna maybe it's my electric guitar era.
Might be.
This is changing my life right now.
You can fake it until you make it, but then you could also see what you like and continue to just experiment with those sounds as you were just saying. So it's really cool to hear about that like you're just like seem so open to just trying everything, and that's really cool as you find your own voice.
Yeah, because I'm kind of always in a constant identity crisis, so I'm always like, you know what, I'll try anything. Like
yeah, that's pretty relatable though too. Well, cool. What do you have planned next? Are you going to any shows, doing any shows?
I'm opening for Leon, which is going to be really fun. The tour starts in Toronto May 30th, I think, and then ends end of June. So that's going to be fun. And then for the next couple weeks before that tour starts, I'm going to be writing a lot. I have sessions every day and hopefully getting something together in those weeks to potentially put out maybe an EP or an album. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
That's okay. Fake it till
Definitely.
you make it. Nobody
Yeah.
knows until you say that you don't know what you're doing. So you can just pretend like that.
An album. I'm making an album.
There you go. There you go. Make an album. Well, do you have any additional thoughts that you want to share?
That I hope you like the single, and if you like it, you should check out the upcoming singles when they happen, and maybe see me on tour if you want. And that I'm an Aquarius. if that changes opinions on me. And that's it.
Cool. That's awesome. All right, cool. Well, yeah, that's all I really have for you today. But thank you for joining.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure talking to you too. I feel like, I don't know, I just like, I really connected with you and I really like your music. So it's really cool. I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to offer next.
Thank you so much. A lot more chaos.
A lot more chaos. That's great. That's totally fine.
Chaos.
Chaos works, you know?
Thank you so much.
Cool. Well, have a good one.
You too. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.